Joey, are you excited for a featured guest?
Super excited.
I wonder who it is. I wonder
Bring
who
him
it is.
on. Bring it on.
I think it's full
I don't
circle.
I wonder who
I
it
don't
is.
know who it is, but we're just so excited because we never even thought that it's going to be him, but we realized, oh, by the way, why don't we give him the platform so he can
Right?
definitely introduce himself and we can all ask and grill him with questions. So, ladies and
Absolutely.
gentlemen, and to all our audience nationwide, globally, I'd like to introduce Mr. Ruben, Austria, the owner of
Yes.
Filipinos in Production.
Hello.
Hey, Coach Ru.
What's
You
up?
like that introduction?
I love that. I love
I
that.
love that.
That's why you are here. This is why you're here. That everyone contributes. I love it, man. Until we envision it and execute, and take those steps one at a time. You'll eventually get to your destination. My name is Ruben Austria, better known as Coach Ru. This is my personal brand that I'm building, hoping to build with everyone as well. Live Community Networking came from this idea and this experience that I've had in business for almost 20 years now. And really what it is it's just the ability for professionals who want to be in business to learn the business development concepts of connecting with your community, of networking with your community, but at the same time learning how to communicate and deliver the message, the vision of what you're trying to build, the vision of what you're trying to materialize with those vision boards and with those goals and planners and all these things that we all do to keep ourselves motivated to build that thing or build that service or reach that goal that we're all looking to hit. So I meet people all the time. Anybody that will listen, I actually tell them about live community networking as it states in the platform that we're working to build. And they always ask me like, hey, does it work? Does it work? Like, what exactly does it entail? Well, I actually wanted to go through a timeline with you that honestly, up until yesterday when I was actually planning to speak, I actually didn't even know that it was this powerful and it caused this much connection and opportunities for not only me, but hopefully the other co-hosts that I'm about to name. So December 6th, Ron Dizon, Teofilo Coffee responded to a request from our production company to actually speak on Filipinos In. This is the first time I met Ron. Okay, so check this out. So 2 weeks later, I was in his coffee shop, meeting him for the first time. So this is the mission of Filipinos in Production. It's like, we're creating virtual events such that people meet in person to create experiences that really benefit the whole community. This is the mission of Filipinos in Productions. We're giving back to the Philippines. We're doing it all for the people so that we can help people here in stateside, but at the same time give back to those back home. And essentially our missions are aligned completely. This is a mural on his wall. It just makes you feel like you're in the Philippines. And he has bags of coffee all laying around. It's just pretty amazing. So obviously, now that I met Ron in person, he wanted to sponsor a show. So he sponsored the show literally. So when I met him like 2 days before Christmas. 2 weeks later, he was sponsoring Filipinos in Production, a Filipinos in Production show. And it does not end there, you guys. After that, he invited me to yet another event in Carson, a soft opening. And these are the pictures that we took. It was amazing. So not only, obviously he was opening it and promoting his business. Obviously there was coffee there. But as you can see, there's way more than that. He invited the Chamber of Commerce. The FACC Cerritos was there. A lot of amazing people were there. I mean, I would imagine there was at least 50 people in his coffee shop, enjoying the event. So when we say community, creating community, I mean, this is a picture of a co-working space that actually exists inside his coffee shop.
Wow.
And succeeds inside his coffee shop as a way to essentially, promote the community and help the community. This is actually clothing that was being sold at the Ascend. Is another brand that basically make modern day barongs, which is amazing, by the way. But it didn't stop there, right? Because I met him for the second time. End up seeing him again last night in San Diego this time. So this is the Chamber of Commerce, a different Chamber of Commerce, Filipino American Chamber of Commerce of San Diego. Met a lot of great people. There's a great speaker from the Better Business Bureau talking about how she, gone through the eye of the needle in COVID and made it through. And obviously they're promoting their services and what they can do for entrepreneurs. So again, visions are aligned, right? Had to take my obligatory selfie pic in the office. And it was just an amazing event. And now here, present day, literally not even 7 weeks later, Ron's back doing a co-hosting event so it's just amazing. It's just the power of live community networking, the mission of meeting people virtually and in person, and then maybe virtually again, and who knows, we'll do it again in person. Maybe we'll actually break some bread next time, Ron. What do you think?
I think Ron is blushing.
I think we need to do it live all together in one spot.
Yeah.
There you go.
Have DJ live,
Yeah.
Hey.
I just want people to know that we're here for you, right? Like, that's why we do this. Like, I want to show up to these things because that's how much our people need this. You know what I mean? The livelihood of our people back home. There's a reason why we're here in the States, right? We gotta show it up for them. Like, we gotta stop talking about all this stuff. Like, we just gotta start doing.
Yeah.
Like,
Wow.
I mean, that's just it. I mean, I didn't even know that Ruben was gonna mention all these things, but when you say it like that, it's like it didn't sound like that much. Like, to me, in my mind, I'm just showing up. That's all I'm doing.
It's just who you are naturally.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to be there for you guys. Whatever I can do.
And you have been, and you're here now. Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Love it.
That's awesome.
It's so powerful. It's so powerful, the live networking event, because like I haven't met Ruben Austria personally yet, but if ever I go to California, I feel like I don't have any I don't have any hesitation. Like, I already consider him as a friend. Like, I'm not gonna be shy. I felt like already he's my friend for years.
Yeah,
And
hey,
now
by the way, I'm
it's
crashing at your place.
Yes.
You're welcome.
Crashing at your couch. I'm just kidding. But it's just so powerful, and the domino effect that it creates. I met Ruben, and then now Ruben met Ron, and then now Miss B, and then DJ Clyde. It just goes on and on and on. It is definitely everybody who just wants to contribute to the community so we can create, mentor, and really help each other. It's amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah, correct. Even here in Massachusetts, I mean, a lot of us, that knows each other, that was in your production, still supporting your production, we all believe that, this motif is going to work. Not just here in the States, but, worldwide, on how simple and easy the agenda and the goal is, it's just to help out each other.
I have a question. As I said, Coach Rook, I said a while ago in the beginning, ibibenta natin siya, right? DJ Clyde?
Yeah, ilalaglag, yeah.
Yes.
You guys should translate that, because Ruben doesn't understand Tagalog.
I know, but that's the part of it.
It's basically like a roast, Ruben, Coach.
Yes, it's a roast.
It's basically like a roast.
Love it. I love it. I'm ready.
So for me, I have a question for you. So you said that you essentially, this is like a 20-year span of plans and dreams that you're literally realizing now with this opportunity with technology and all of that. So how do you transition yourself into a entrepreneur? You love, but you wanted to prove something. You were in the Philippines and all of that story. If you guys want to watch the previous video where he told the story to understand better where I'm coming from. So what was your road? I'm not going to ask what is the hardest, what is your favorite, but tell me the way, what paved the way, what is the transition, what is the point where I'm going to do this, I don't care, I'm going to go ahead and do this.
That's a really good question. So it's almost like the aha moment, but for me, it was like a oh no moment. So So I actually went to school. I went to school at Northeastern University. I'm sure you guys have heard of Northeastern. And I went to school there way before they were really hard to accept people. So I snuck in. You know what I mean? I like snuck in before they actually required you to be smart. So I graduated with a computer engineering degree. Only because, quite frankly, you know, as a Filipino American, you're either a nurse or an engineer or some sort of tech person. You know what I mean? Or at least for the most part, that's the stereotype, anyways. But I wanted to make them proud. You know, I really wanted to make them proud as much as I didn't want to be an engineer. I wanted to make my parents proud, as I'm sure everyone can relate. And you know, not only that, we were chasing the American dream, right? We were chasing the American dream. Immigrant family escaping corrupt government, you know, in the Philippines at the time. My dad worked for the government, so we had it made. And my mom was like, "Why the hell are we moving to the United States? We got it made in the Philippines." And my dad was like, "No, we have integrity. We don't want to raise our kids in this environment." You know what I mean? So that's why we came. So the inflection point came for me. Everything was really for my family. I graduated. I was working in Georgia, of all places, in Atlanta, as an engineer. I hated it. I was one of those people that did not enjoy what they did, 85%. And then, quite frankly, my mom was diagnosed with cancer in 2005, and that hit me like a ton of bricks. I mean, it really did. And the reason why is because you know, I thought I had forever to do things. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like when you guys don't realize life is short, right?
Absolutely.
Forever to you know, I grew up in Boston. So one of the things I realized was like I grew up watching the Boston Marathon, and every year up until 2006, I was just like, one year I'll run this thing. You know what I mean? So when in 2005, when my mom got cancer, like life is turned upside down, and I started acting like I didn't have any more time. Basically, I quit my job. I moved back to Boston, and I got into the mortgage business with my brothers, and that's kind of how it started. And you know, I'll save the rest of the story for later. But the good news is my mom survived cancer; she's in remission, and but my life changed. You know what I mean? I quit my job, I became an entrepreneur, I've been working for myself since, and you know, my whole perspective on life completely went from feeling like I didn't have enough to feeling like I'm still alive. You know what I mean? So, and that's, you know, I can continue, but I think Bernadette, hopefully that you got, you know.
Yes, absolutely.
That was a
Yes.
spark. That was
I
a
wanted
spark.
to know your journey, your spark, why to the entrepreneurship, because I'm sure all of us here, Lady Antoinette, can tell that moment that you wanted to be a businesswoman. Same thing with Ron, DJ Clyde, to be, you know, I'm sure like, oh, when did you want that? So I just wanted to hear from the founder, Coach Ru himself, because we all have that moment, right?
Yeah, no, I appreciate it, and I love sharing that story because it really is, you know, what could have been really tragedy to triumph for me, honestly. So really, and obviously it still happens, right? I'm still, every day is a new day, and still, you know, hitting the ground running. But you know, I love it. Now I appreciate things a whole lot more before all that happened. You know, so it's awesome.
It's the oh no moment, right? And
Oh no.
this is amazing. I love this one because like Ruben always is just, you know, interviewing people, but now we get the chance to like really know
Exactly.
you. Yeah, right. I mean, not a lot of people know, you know, how you started your business. They probably like think you just like the guy with like nice hair, you know, nice background, and
You should see him in person. Not standing next to him.
Yeah, like a tall
By the way,
guy,
people,
right?
those are not
Yeah.
real. I'm just
Yeah.
kidding.
back on that one too, Ellie, like people would just say, oh, like he looks like he's all like made up, but everybody always have their own story to like why you created Filipinos in production, what led you to that, you know. And I love that you're able to narrate and share to our audience, you know, like being just so authentic with your story, and we all love it. But I have like one more question.
Grill
So
him.
Yeah, well, not really, because I've been, me and Ruben always had like conversations here and there. As what I've said, I consider him as a friend and a mentor as well. But so Ruben, or like Coach Ru, I know you've been in the business world you've been working for yourself for probably 20 plus years, right? So I think doing this tonight's episode would be just so fitting to ask you, what's the best advice that you can give to all of us over here that's are your fellow entrepreneurs, and also to the other business owners, they're just starting their business, and any words of wisdom that you can impart to us would be great.
100%. Yeah. I mean, I think there's a lot of advice that I think everyone will share, and it's usually based off their own experience. But the thing that I think is important is that you just have to start. The whole thought that you got to get it perfect, or you have to have a business plan, or you have to have funding, or you have to have, business starts with ideas being transmitted from one person to the next. I'm not sure if you ever heard the saying, but sales is a transmission of enthusiasm. That's all it is. That's all it is. If I'm enthusiastic about what I am, and obviously you guys know I'm enthusiastic about live community networking, you'll catch the bug. You know what I mean? Ron talks about coffee like he has an IV in his arm, for straight coffee IV. You know what I mean? Same thing with Lady Antoinette. In terms of health, and DJ Clyde. Talking about what you do. But I think it starts with opening your mouth, and because one thing I've always that's stuck with me ever since I heard it is your word creates your world. Right?
That's right.
And there's a lot of things that even Ron just said to me yesterday. Is like, small business owners call themselves small, but they really shouldn't. You know what I mean? Because it's not a word that really depicts what they're trying to do. You know what I mean? They should call themselves big business owners. You know what I mean? So it's very important if you have a dream, you share it. You know what I mean? Because the idea is that's what leads to the innovation. So that's that's my advice, and I'm sticking. Above all else, just start. Thinking about it and writing it down on paper and not talking to anybody. I certainly wouldn't suggest that. So
I really like that. I
Awesome.
really like that. Like I also like I feel like I think we talked about how you also surround yourself with like-minded people who are positive, who are encouraging, and you will all be successful.
Hey,
Really,
Coach, I got a question for you. Just simple question, and
Sure.
and please be you got to be honest with me, Coach. And absolutely, man, I appreciate you showing up yesterday, man. Like, it gave me energy up there. You know what I mean? Gave me energy up there.
Of course.
I just have a simple question. I'm not even trying to grill you, but are you happy?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm happy. The one thing that I think a lot of people don't realize, or maybe they do, but as much as, for me, I'm happy because I can spend time with my kids as they grow up. You know what I mean? It's not that's not something I don't take lightly. You know what I mean? Only because like I know so many people, so many parents who just have to work all the time, and honestly, I grew up like that. I wake up, I might not even see my mom and dad in the morning because they woke up so much earlier than I did, and they would get home late at night, and before you know it, I was in bed. But quite frankly, my Lola raised me. You know what I mean? I didn't even know my parents all that well. You know what I mean? So, and I'm also super I also don't need much. You know what I mean? I'm really easy to please. Yet I strive hard. I want to do things that challenge me. You know what I mean? But I'm happy waking up not sick. You know what I mean? Having my voice and not feeling, just having my wits about me. You know what I mean? It's not really that complicated, to be quite frank. I think people make things so much more complicated than they need to be. But
True.
yeah. But that's a really good question. Thank you so much for allowing me to answer.
It's very simple, but it's fully packed, with like, oh really? Yeah, that's actually a great question. Speaking of question though, one of my favorite part of the show is Ask Us Anything.
I want to ask Coach Rue, where are you going? Where are you heading? Where is this leading you?
Where is this all leading? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, this vision, this project, this production.
You know, I think about that a lot. I imagine you probably you know, and I think where it's heading is that I think um what I'm hoping to do is, I grew up, the real a real motivator for me was growing up, was feeling as if like this Philam community was so disjointed. You know what I mean? Um, and what I mean by that is, as a culture, we're all, with our families, very tribal, right? We treat our own, very, we usually typically have close relationships with our own and our relatives, right?
We're
But
regionalistic.
yeah, in many ways though, we're tribal, but we're not communal, meaning that like we have our tribe and we see a tribe over there and we're like, oh hey, we're gonna compete against that tribe. You know what I mean? What I'm hoping this, what comes out of this, is that, and I was exposed to this last night just by going to the San Diego Greater San Diego Chamber of Commerce, Philem. The reason Ron was there was because it was actually a sister company of the Cerritos Chamber that he's a leader at. And I was actually impressed because, from my experience growing up in Massachusetts, that didn't happen. Like, that organizations didn't work together. You know what I mean? They didn't connect each other with another organization, or at least
So
voluntarily.
true.
You know what I mean? So for me, what I hope is that, because for me doing this, it started off as just something that I really enjoyed and I want to commit and really, have my son learn. It started off as that. It's getting bigger than that. But now, since you asked, Bernadette, one of the things that I would really like to see is that communities and people in different areas are connecting and having conversations just because. You know what I mean? Not because it doesn't have to be driven by money, or it doesn't have to be driven by a sale. It doesn't have to be driven by, anything in particular. I mean, yes, we're in business to make money. Yes, that's absolutely right. But at the end of the day, like, we also, I don't know if you've ever heard of that Harvard study, that 80-year Harvard study about what the real meaning of life is. But you can look it up. It's a TED talk. It's amazing talk. But the point being is that they said life really is enriched and made better by having good relationships. It's very simple. A good life equals good relationships. So the more good relationships you have, and again, those relationships don't have to be business. They don't have to be anything other than me being able to call DJ Clyde and say, "Hey, brother, what's going on, brother?" You know what I mean? Like something like that. And you know what I mean? Me and DJ Clyde may never do business together, but that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It just knows, just having the ability to reach out and speak and communicate with other people who want to spread their wings and meet other people in different communities. That's my hope. So to put it in a nutshell, the one thing that I learned 2 weeks ago with our guest, Earl Valencia, he said there's no nationwide Filipino entrepreneurial group out there supporting Philams. My hope is that we can become the first.
That's the vision.
That's the vision. That's the vision. Yeah. Because he works in the venture capital VC space, and he knows for a fact there are no groups like that. And hopefully we can be the first group for Filipino Americans, doing that. So that's the hope.
Thank you for your answer.
Well, we're still
Thank
waiting
you.
for the rest to pregame.
Yeah, I attest to Coach Yu. I attest to that big time. Especially with you mentioning, oh, yeah, there's another tribe. Have a feel of how can I help that tribe instead of bashing,
Yeah,
what can I do for that tribe?
that's
I
it.
was just, yep, I was just mentioning that to the high school kids too last weekend about the money. And I tell the kids, you know what? If you're going to do something you like, don't be driven with money. I mean, I'm in the business, yeah, of course, for money, but money makes your life comfortable. It will not run your life, And I test I attest to my kids also, having that to provide is good, but you be driven by the money itself is not a healthy way,
I
and
For sure.
props to coach, you know,
I like what
basically
you
the kid, his son is the one that was the inspiration. I have 3 kids, I have boys too. And for me hearing that, that's very big. And I hope a lot of people out there hears that same way. It's
yes.
not like what we do or what we provide, or it's what we can leave you guys.
The legacy. It's
It's
the legacy.
that. It's what you're gonna do with your own life. That will reflect on us, majorly as being your parent. And the same as the people. Does not matter if I'm a millionaire or not. But again, it will reflect on all of those. So I appreciate you, Coach, for your, I would say, vision. With all of these, and like what Earl said last week. Hey, he's always the number one. Guess what? You might be the number one doing this. The whole nationwide, right? So, man, props to that, and we hope people would support us. Again, we ask for your time and just to share, because our motive and our goal is just very simple. Is to help.
Hey, coach, just one quick one. I know you had said that you want to be the first, right? Right.
Sure.
But
Yeah.
what if you change your mindset and just not being the last?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, for sure.
Don't you just want to continue? Like the marathon never ends until you or the number is that comes up, right? So wouldn't you just want to just be doing what you're doing right now and just don't be the last? Because you already started, right? As you said.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. No, really appreciate that. That's good perspective. No, absolutely. Even if we're not the first, we don't have to be the first, right? It doesn't necessarily matter. That's not what we're out for. If anything, if I want to add to that, maybe we could just be something that's long lasting, right? Doesn't
It's
matter.
the longevity that matters.
100%. 100%.
Freedom Friday takeaways. I think everybody knows what Freedom Friday takeaways is. What have you learned from Coach Ru, our special guest for today, and Ron, of course, and of course DJ Clyde and Lady Antoinette, or whatever I shared. That's what we're talking about when we do Freedom Friday takeaways. For me today, I've learned, because I asked a question for Coach Ru about what's the vision, where is this going, where is he heading. I'd like to double down on what he said about there is room for everyone. There is opportunities for everyone. There is that tribe, that next tribe. How do I fight that next tribe? Let's have, for me, I want to learn what he was saying. What I learned from that is, and I always say this in my business, I don't need to compete to another Filipina who does my business. There is room for me, there is market for me, there's a specific market for that person, and all I have to do is to do good. I don't even have to do better than my competition. It is good if I do better, but there is room for everyone. We don't have to fight. We just have, I like the word communal. I like that. That's my takeaway today. I think I'm going to use that word. Thank you very much for that. And that's my Friday takeaway, communal.
My takeaway is definitely community. Community means, collaboration, and it's not a competition. It makes you mentor people. It makes you support each other and create relationships. So that's my takeaway for tonight.
I think the biggest takeaway is, and I don't know if it was said this way, but I know it was asked as a question, but was just the starting of something and knowing how everyone started here I know it's going to be the hardest thing to do, but just do it. It doesn't hurt. Look at us. We're human, and we're still here. We're still here. So I think that's the biggest takeaway. Is just whatever you're thinking of doing, just
Do it.
do it. It ain't gonna hurt you. It ain't gonna hurt you. You could do worse. You could do worse. So
My biggest takeaway today, it's all about this song, is, you know what, Coach Drew? Salamat for making this and getting this started. And, wishing good luck to this whole show. And again, I'm just blown away on the thing that's going to be happening soon. That's it. Thank you.
Yes.
Okay. All right. My takeaway for today is that, like, you envision things in virtual reality, and then it becomes a reality. Look at this. I'm repping Filipino coffee. Even in having conversations with Ron to potentially do whatever I can to promote it as well. But the takeaway that I want to share is that I will piggyback on what I said before. When you start, it's great because you get momentum. You meet people who are doing very similar things, who would have said, and that kind of, for me, that comes, it's very clear because, the reason why I wanted to become a coach in the first place was because I got into running and triathlon and endurance sports, right? And at one point, the power of just accomplishing something that you never thought you could accomplish, you really want to have that for somebody else. So that's the feeling of crossing the finish line of a marathon, crossing the finish line of a triathlon, and then an Ironman triathlon. I really wanted to bottle that up and just be a coach for someone that wanted to do the same thing, that never thought it was possible. So for me, the takeaway is that, whether it's triathlon or whether it's like building a business or whether it's quitting a job, whether it's, whatever it is that you want to do, you just got to go for it. And, proof is in the pudding. None of us here would have met, if you guys didn't jump on the bandwagon. And I really appreciate you all. And, it's more to come. That's all I got to say. More to come. So.
Maraming salamat, everybody, and please support us. Donate art. Thank you.
Thank you, Ron. Thank you, lady. And thank you, Miss Bernadette. Another awesome Friday, Freedom Friday. And again, I'm so glad I'm in this team. Thank you. Salamat.
thank you.
Filipino, 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 Filipino. Hoy pare, pakinggan niyo ako.